Welcome to the North Carolina Field Ministers Podcast, Changing Life, Changing Culture. This podcast offers a forum for field ministers in North Carolina to discuss their lives, their ministry, their impact on incarcerated neighbors, their viewpoints on issues that affect the currently and formerly incarcerated, and their perspectives on a variety of topics. Please note, the podcast does not officially represent the North Carolina Field Minister Program.
Hey everybody, my name is Robert Odom. I am a North Carolina field minister, and I just like to talk about my faith. This is indeed an opportunity that I hope gets through to a lot of people and maybe help people understand, the value in interfaith dialogue. I guess I can start out with one of my favorite quotes all time from a very well-known thinker and writer, Mark Twain, who once said the two most important days of a man's life are the day he was born and the day he finds out why. And as someone who is currently serving a natural life sentence without the possibility of parole for the capital murder of a man over 21 years ago, I've had to search intently for that purpose that Mr. Twain talked about. It is a search that has taken me far beyond what I thought was possible in my present state as, of course, an incarcerated individual. But I do want you to know that I am a practicing and devout Muslim. Like I said, I'm a graduate of the North Carolina Field Ministry Program offered by the College of Southeastern. But after becoming the first professing Muslim graduate in the program's history, and quite possibly the school's history, that purpose that Mark Twain has talked about has become a lot clearer to me. Within the realm of this bachelor's degree education, I've learned how to approach and see the world through Christian eyes, albeit academically, of course. What's more is I was comforted that the school allowed me to remain faithful to my faith, Islam, while I learned from the Christian community about Christianity itself. And this idea is so important to the Muslim field minister because it offers them an opportunity to be better prepared going out and engaging the incarcerated Christian population with a more understanding and empathetic eye. What better way, I ask myself, is there to learn how to spiritually help the believing Christian than to learn from believing Christians how to do just that? So I saw the opportunity in this. I mean, the oft-repeated goal of the program is to effectively cause positive change in the prison system that instills a divinely centered hope in the individuals that are positively affected themselves. I'm all for this goal and I'm on a mission definitely to accomplish it because I do believe that change can occur through interaction with other faiths. One might even do well to remember the statesman John Locke, who understood that the world consists of different people with different faiths, whether we acknowledge their truth or not. The point is, interaction and interfaith dialogue with our quote-unquote neighbors is definitely a step in the right direction when a positive change in the penitentiary is the end game. Even Christian doctrine supports neighborly love when interaction with others is required. One need only look in the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 19. But nevertheless, as a Muslim, one of my responsibilities is to engage in what we call dawah, and that is going out to talk about God and attempting to dispel any untruth associated with Islam wherever possible. That becomes so much easier to achieve when I am prepared for it, and this happens at great length through the education I earned as well as my experiences with other Christians. I also know that Christian conversations are not the only interactions I will engage in, and that fact must be considered when entering the arena of a prison missionary. To have at least a reasonable and elementary understanding of other worldviews, we have to consider the fact that is tantamount to a successful minister's chosen path. But that's regardless of that minister's elected faith practice. I once read that a New Testament scholar named Christopher Stendahl argued a point relevant to this topic with this very question. They said, how is it possible to avoid speaking unfairly, deceptively, unjustly, or in a harmful, prejudicial way about one's quote-unquote neighbor when you don't know your neighbor or what he or she believes? We must always seek to know and understand our neighbors accurately and fairly, whether or not we agree with them on a given issue. And I have to admit, I may not be an expert on Christianity, but I can honestly say that my attempt to learn about Christianity is well worth its weight in gold when I engage those men who do believe as such. You see, being knowledgeable of the Christian faith helps me, a Muslim minister, to interact with those Christians so as to affect the desired positive change. Those conversations happen because you have to understand a quarter of the world's population profess Christianity. So I cannot legitimately think I'll avoid the inevitable encounters that are to come. Part of my field ministry work as a Muslim is to help the Christian believer better embrace the opportunity they have with a Muslim at their side. Union Theological Seminary President Serene Jones reasons it this way. There are 2.1 billion Christians and 1.6 billion Muslims in the world. So there's no way a Christian can be responsible as a theologian and not know anything about Islam. It's just more proof that elementary education of someone else's faith, specifically here in this context, Islam, is valuable when a field minister who is not a Muslim encounters a Muslim seeking their assistance in some way. We prison field ministers must be willing to meet people where they are if we want them to get where we are. And that is the main point of this. We have to be willing to talk to each other. A question was once posed to me, Robert, how do you see your role in the mission field as a Muslim and in the prison context? And I get that question asked to me a lot, especially since I'm a Muslim and I graduated from a Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. And I have to answer it this way, is that I hope to be an example of what the true meaning of teamwork can be. We Christians and Muslims can have a dialogue that helps others of all faiths see the benefits of positive change through one's willingness to embrace God and their neighbor. Maybe this is what Mark Twain meant about the day I found out why I was born. See, about 18 years ago, I realized after a series of epiphanies that God has become the hero of my story in order for me to do what I was created for. It speaks through my holy text, the Quran, in chapter 51, verse 56. I have not created men and jinn, but to worship me, God. I have done the best I can since my acceptance of Islam, but I have also needed help in return. The field work I am engaging in is a testament to my desire to embrace that purpose God has had for me since the day I was born. I should tell you, May 21st, 1981, the day I said hello to the world, was indeed an important day for me. But even more so was August 15th, 2006, when I became a man of God. And I say that because I love my conversations with people who don't believe as I believe, because understanding, empathy, sympathy can help us all understand each other. And we're a better race, a better world, a better place if we just take the time to understand each other truthfully at that.
You have been listening to The Prison Pod, a podcast not just for those in prison but for anyone who has been affected by incarceration. Ms. Valerie would love for you to write to her with your questions, comments, and show ideas. The address is Prison Pod, Post Office Box 294, Orono, Maine. 04473.